Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to show you how to do the cold press on this brand new Ninja espresso machine. So up here we've got espresso, which brews it hot. Well, let's talk about the cold press. Now the cold press is going to brew an espresso shot, but at a reduced temperature, and it will take a little bit longer. This is a great way to make an iced coffee. I mean, it does have an iced coffee feature, but I've made so many iced coffees where you just dump in the espresso shot that's normally hot, but we're gonna do the cold press and it will be about 90 degrees, so it's not gonna have as much ice melt. Now you can do the cold press with the double shot or the Luxe basket, which is the quad shot. Now, the quad shot is gonna make about 3 ounces of cold press espresso, where the double shot makes about 1.5. That's about right for a 14-ounce tumbler of ice. And it makes the least amount of mess. This one makes a pretty big mess inside the cup because it's only gonna have about this much coffee grounds in it. There'll be some water on the top and it can be a little harder to clean out. It doesn't make a mess anywhere else, just a little bit harder to clean out. The double shot, I think, does a great job. So let's put it in, put your filter on. I've learned some things since the last time. This thing has a spring in it. Now mine was not activated. I think I had to turn it to the left a little bit, but now I have a spring and I'm supposed to push it down. Now this will come in contact with that. When I've got the espresso in there, I'll push it down and now that will come in contact with the funnel. Now the machine will recognize when I put this basket in, the double shot, it'll say double. If I put the quad, it'll say quad in there. Now there's a couple different ways. You could brew the cold press and then do the milk. I'm gonna do the milk first. I found that frothing the milk, we can froth it on cold, putting it in here, then just brew the espresso right into it. I mean, I think that's just the simplest way to do it. Now we can put 2 to 5 or 8 ounces of milk in here, and it's got a whisk in there that's gonna turn. There's something magnetically that turns that. Now what I love about this is I can mix everything up into this bowl. So I typically put about almost 8 ounces. I leave it just a little bit short because I'm going to put some syrup in there. Again, any syrups, these skinny salted caramel, I'm going to do a French vanilla. Put about 2 tablespoons or 1 tablespoon. You know, if it was too sweet for you the first time, about 4 pumps. And again here, the steam wand comes out, so just put the steam wand back in and rotate it in. Now we're going to do, up here, we're going to pick dairy plant-based because I'm using almond milk. So plant-based, and I want cold foam. These 3 are hot. I want cold. And simply just press the start button. It's gonna basically froth that milk cold. It's not gonna add any steam. So it's not going to heat it up at all. But it is gonna give it a nice rich texture. And this doesn't take very long at all. And we have a status bar going across. And I like that you can add your syrups. You know, everything's mixed up. And now we're gonna put this in here. This is a Mars 14-ounce tumbler. And then we're going to brew the espresso shot right into here. Now, I do have a video on setting up the grinder. You do have to dial in the espresso shot. It was so easy. It took about 3 espresso shots and the machine is dialed in. I can't explain to you how easy this machine is to use. I'm absolutely in love with it. I bought it with my own money and it does cost $500 right now. I do think that's a pretty good price point. I would definitely spend $500, which I did. I bought this with my own money and I was not paid for this video. Now, we should wipe that down and this should run a little bit of water through that. That's called an auto purge. Yeah, that's a really neat feature. Okay, so here's my milk. And again, it is frothed to a really nice texture. Leave some room for the espresso. It only takes about 1 ounce. So I could have used a little bit less milk or a bigger tumbler. But I might add a little bit more. That's gonna kind of go down a little bit. Okay, double shot funnel, put it in, let the handle go. It's going to measure, that's measuring. Now, we need to match the current. And again, I could dial this whatever I want, but I've got it on cold press. That's the recommended setting. All I simply do is dial this. There's no pressure gauge. It's figuring everything out for you. You'll hear a little motor inside there turn. I'm just turning that little wheel. I've matched them 13, 13, and now I can start the grind. Not sure what was there. I took this back out, back in. Okay, it's a little hard to see. It needs a rinse. I did an espresso. I've been playing around with this. So This thing's tricky. I like it. It just, that was a little hard to see. So I do need to rinse. So it's going to do a cold press. So it wants that shower head to be cold. Now this is still really hot, not really hot, but it's still hot water that it's running through. So again, you got to be careful. Yeah, see, it's 140 degrees, so be careful, but it's going to cool down that shower head. When I first started the machine, I didn't have to do that rinse, but I was doing some espresso shots. Okay, so now the shower head's cooled down. Now I can do the grind. There. It's weird that it stops the grind, but I guess that's the only point where it can stop you. Now I have noticed this grinder gets a little soft towards the end, but I think it's just trying to be precise. I think that grinder, it's not like an on and off. Like normal grinders are like zoom, and then done. This grinder, I have noticed that towards the end of the grind, it gets a little, it's starting to like close down, like it's not full speed. It kind of like comes to a gradual ending. I think they just have a really precise scale. Now now give it a little tap, make it nice and level, set it on a flat surface. And again, this wheel has a spring in it now. There, I was able to touch it with the spring. You can take the funnel off. There is a little bit of loose, just give it another light tamp on the top. Now we put this in, rotate it. Now I'll put my drink in and just hit the cold press. Now this, we should time this. So let's time it. And it comes out at about 90 degrees. And it tastes really good. And when I brewed it into an espresso shot, it looked like a regular espresso. It had that, kind of like that caramelization, or that caramel on the top. See, that's about 100 degrees. I'm sorry, about 103. Again, we're doing a cold press, double shot. And that is a very concentrated coffee. Or espresso shot going into that iced coffee, which it will make it taste really good. We get one, I think we get 2 pauses. And it's 1.5 ounces. And if you do the Luxe basket, which is a quad shot, you get 3 ounces. So this is like for espresso martinis. You know, if you wanted to do the quad, you could share it with somebody, make 2 espresso martinis, or you could just use that 1.5 ounces and share it, which isn't a whole lot of espresso. Here comes the last little bit. Yeah, about 100 degrees. Which, when you're making iced coffees, it is all about lowering the temperature so you don't get as much ice melt. But look at the difference. There's the foam, there's the cold milk, and there's the espresso. And it's going to beep at us. You can turn these beeps off. I'm going to do a video on the settings. There's advanced settings inside there. There's about 9 different settings you can choose. If that's too strong of a coffee brew, you can adjust that in the advanced settings. So it does take a little bit longer. Yeah, now it's done. You always kind of hear that relay click and then it beeps. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at the drink first. That's going to be a delicious tasting drink that is not watered down and is still very, look at that, is still extremely cold. Iced coffees usually are around 37. This one's just a little bit colder. All right. Let's give it a taste. Oh, wow. That's a very concentrated iced coffee. I may want to put that double shot is an extremely powerful coffee taste in there. So I would probably want to add a little bit more sugar and definitely all of the milk. That's going to definitely take away the coffee taste of it. But if you like a really, really strong, that's probably stronger than a regular iced coffee. When I did an iced coffee up here, it's not as strong. That's a pretty strong iced coffee. They really show, the pictures, they show people making a martini with the cold press. Yeah, they don't talk a whole lot about this. Again, I've done a cold brew and an iced coffee. There are two different settings. The cold press, brewed at a lower temperature for an elevated drink. Yeah, it's definitely elevated. Okay, let's take a look at the puck. This one's easier to clean up. It's a little runny, but it's still mainly a puck. Whereas when you do and it's not very hot. When you do the quad, there's quite a bit of water in the top. So it just makes cleanup, again, it's contained. It's not like we're making a big mess here. Just it'll clean up's a little bit harder. Well, instead of talk about, let's just brew one. Putting the Luxe basket in. Put the funnel on. I've found that you can kind of do this in different orders. So even though I haven't selected what I want, well, it does automatically. You can put this in, you can rotate the dial. First I thought I had to rotate the dial, then put this in, but I found that as long as you put this in, it weighs itself. Now I can pick whatever I want. But I'm gonna do the cold press. It automatically selected the Luxe. Somehow it knows I got the Luxe basket in. It's probably by weight. But remember, dial in your espresso. 1515. This is the recommended. That's like there's like a secret hidden pressure gauge inside here that Brevels are so proud of. That Ninja's like, we're not doing the pressure gauge. We're just going to tell people where to put the grind, and I love it. All right, we hit the start grind. All right. So this time it did not need a rinse. Okay, let's take it off. Again, you get quite a bit of coffee, but we got to tamp that down. Now again, just kind of make it level. A little tricky. Now we're going to push this in. This will go all the way down. See, it goes all the way down without the spring. And again, you can tell it's just kind of making a mess a little bit. Take this off. It's really finely ground in a great big basket. And I don't do this really, really hard. I just give it a little tamp. Now let's put it up here. You can see there's quite a bit of room. So it must pressurize it. Again, I'm not an expert with espressos, but this machine, you don't have to be. Cold press. Everything's all set. Just start the brew. Let's start the time. And I want to show you the caramelization. And not much comes out at the very beginning. And this has to be one of the first machines that gives you a picture of what a good espresso should look like. Like there. They tell you what it should look like. And they talk about it. I really enjoy that they did all this. Because as a first-time person, this could be very, very intimidating. All right, so there it is. Again, you're gonna get 3 ounces, 105 degrees. Again, I'm not a coffee taste expert by no means. I can't drink that straight and tell you whether that's a good or not. I can just tell you by the picture. But I know when I add it to my iced coffees, that's a very powerful iced coffee right there. And we get this pause, the status bar again. We're at a minute, and we'll get 3 ounces out of this machine. So that is enough. You could probably make 2, possibly even 3 drinks with it. Yeah, it's pretty long pause, but you can see we got that kind of like that caramelization at the top. The crema, that's right, that's what they call it. It almost looks identical to the picture. And I am using my very own coffee. I sell this at justadadcoffee.com. Just a Dad Simple Sip Coffee. It works great in this machine. On all the settings. I've brewed every setting and it makes great tasting drinks. I sell in the whole bean, pre-ground, and K-cup form. It's right underneath the video. You'll see a little box that shows the coffee. You can click on it and buy it right there. So almost at the 3-minute mark. See, that's a lot of espresso. I think this last pause is just to let it finish dripping. 90 degrees. Yeah, really meant for cold drinks. About spilt it. Too excited to show you. Yeah. You know, I mean, that looks exactly like the picture. Again, not an expert, but wow. And again, I didn't do anything fancy. I don't even have to know what I'm doing. As long as I can dial this dial to match. All right, yeah, it should. Yeah, there it is, done. And now here's the messy part. I'll show you. There's just quite a bit of water up there. Yeah, so just be careful knowing that. That's probably the one time I've seen the most water in the top. Hey, it made a puck. There's a big puck. How does it do that? You would think the shower head would have to be right on top of it in order to make that puck, but it's a little soupy up here, but interesting. I mean, there's the, again, 3 ounces. 3 ounces. I will be doing a detailed review, but I wanted this, there's so many possibilities with this. I did espresso, double, quad, cold brew, over ice, rich. It makes a great coffee, just a cup of coffee. I mean, it's pretty amazing. If you can dial the dial to match, and first I have a video just on how to dial it in, which was so simple. And if you can follow the manual, you can dial it in yourself, but I do have a video on how to dial it in. You'll have to throw away the first couple shots. And the first espresso shot that comes out of this machine looks awful. And you're gonna be really nervous. You're gonna be like, I don't, is the machine broke? My first espresso shot was like 4 drips, but you have to do that in order to dial it in. So as long as you it's just very easy. And that's going to change over time because it even takes into account the coffee beans as they age. And I did have something was making me nervous, again, the grinder. And I noticed it yesterday, maybe it was my plug I had plugged into, I don't know, but towards the end of the grind, it kind of really slowed down. I thought, ooh, is it clogged or something? It's working fine now. I think that's just them being very precise on getting the correct amount into the portafilter. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Again, I bought this with my own money. I'll put a link to it underneath the show description notes where you can purchase it off of Ninja, the Ninja website, or off of Amazon. I am an affiliate with both of those sites. If you click on the link, it probably won't cost you anymore, but I will get a small commission from the sale. That way I can continue to make these videos and give you my honest opinion. Again, I bought this with my own money, wasn't paid for this video. I absolutely love it. I think that's just a really concentrated iced coffee. You know, I like mine not necessarily watered down, but a little less coffee tasting than do the over ice or the cold brew. But if you want something that's a little bit stronger, you know, it makes espresso shots that are cold. Anyway, I got, I'm going to be doing descale. There's descale on the left. There's clean on the right. I'll be doing videos on there. Again, settings, internal settings. There's about 9 of them. I'll go over the frother. You can do automatic frothing or manual frothing. Absolutely love the Ninja Luxe Cafe espresso machine. Also, be sure and check out my coffee, Just a Dad Simple Sip Coffee. You can buy it at justadadcoffee.com, or underneath the video, there'll be a little pop-up where you can buy it off of my store. That'll take you to justadadcoffee.com. I sell it in the whole bean and the ground coffee and in the K-Cup. And I ordered mine about a week ago, and that's what I've been using in this espresso machine, and I absolutely love it. The beans look a little bit light, but it's a dark to medium roast. I think it tastes really good. I've had iced coffee, regular coffees, and I've had espressos. So this coffee, the coffee that I sell, does really good with espresso, iced coffee, cold brew coffee, and just regular coffee in this machine. And also other drip coffee makers. So if you're looking for a coffee bean that just works in the brand new Ninja Espresso machine, just a dead simple sip coffee. So if you could give me a follow over on Instagram, and I have 2 Facebook pages, a Facebook page and a Facebook group page. I really would appreciate a follow. I do free giveaways there and kind of behind the scenes and how things are going. And that's the best way to communicate with me. My group page, you can leave a post and I'll try to answer it as soon as I can, but that's the best way to ask me questions and to see what's going on with the page. And again, I do use affiliate links. I am an affiliate with Shark and Ninja, Amazon and Walmart. So if one of the links down below, you click on it, it takes you to one of those websites and you end up purchasing the product. The product won't cost you anymore, but I will get a small commission from the sale. It is a way of helping support my channel. That way I can continue to do these videos that I love. I really do appreciate everybody's support. If you could hit the thumbs up button, that really does help out my YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe, leave in the comments if you'd like to see something else reviewed or this compared to something. I look at the comments and I really do appreciate everybody's feedback. So again, if you could, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.